My name is Nompendulo Shabangu, and I'd like to welcome you to yet another installment of Business Unearthed, where we talk about all things women, all things business. And as usual, I'm exceedingly excited about my guest for today. Yet again, we are in Maun, and before I forget, this beautiful place that we are sitting in is actually the Life Center in Maun. It's a community life center where you can book to have your events, your weddings, your baby showers, your bridal showers, so many different things. And so thank you so much to our sponsors, the Life Center. Yeah, so please do check them out while you are in Maun. And so without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you to my guest. Her name is Mrs. Kesego. Actually, you know what? Let me leave it right there. You know I don't like to introduce people. Let me give her the honor of doing that herself. How are you, ma?
Okay. Hello. Hello, listeners at home. My name is Kesego Morolong. Kengwanyana hela wako malalatau, side itako bobonong. So born and raised there. Even though my mom is South African, she's from Magalakwen in South Africa, and my dad is Motswana. So growing up, and it was a very quiet place, you know, to grow up. Mogolone. And growing up, I used to listen to a lot of radio. I used to listen to a lot of music, and I will stay with my grandmom go Masimo because I was a tomboy, let me say.
Okay, I can't imagine that. You're such a glamorous person. I can't imagine you tomboyish.
Yeah,
okay.
I was a tomboy. I would climb trees with my cousins and do all those boyish stuff, you know. Yeah. And I did my junior school in Malatojuna, and then I went to Maseke Hill School where I did my BGCSE. Okay. I passed, and let me say, before I could go to my senior school, I used to be a poet. Okay. So I would recite poems during assembly times. And then there was a time I would be given a newspaper, and then I'll read it in front of other students at the assembly. So maybe that's where my passion for media started, because I started gaining that confidence, you know. So I could see myself somewhere reading news like Bo. And like, so I used to. It's
been there.
Yeah, it has been there. Like, I used to do some microphones using some papers. Then I'll be holding like, hey, Happy New Year, say something, you know, and then I'll give it to someone to say something. Wow. So that's how I grew up. So in senior school, I meant to say, I started, you know, writing more, and my literature became even more advanced because I learned from the best. I learned from the best. There was this gentleman called Mr. Maifala who was, you know, what should I say, this is how you're supposed to write. And every time I'll be writing my compositions, he'll be like, use some, you know, some manate sabuonyana there and there. And that's how I got to love media. Yeah, so that's basically me. So moving from senior school, I went to Limcoing, where I did my associate degree in broadcasting, TV and radio. Okay. Yeah, but during the way I got sick, so I had to leave school for some time, and then I resumed 2011, and then I finished in 2014. I graduated in 2015. And then from there, I came to Maun. In fact, before I could finish my school in Limco, I came here for attachment with the Department of Broadcasting Services here in Maun. So I did my attachment with them. I was under the Radio Botswana department, so I will do newsreels. I'll move around here in Maumbo, Makalamabedi. I'll go to Bumababe and all those remote areas. So I got to learn a lot from these people, and in a way, I could see myself working around here. So that's how and when I started loving Maun. So while I was there, like, I would do a lot of things. Like I had this small camera that I bought for myself while I was still in school. So I'll just take my camera, go around the river, take some pictures of my family. You know, I used to love taking pictures a lot. Like I could literally ask somebody to give me the phone, and then I'll snap you. You know, that's how it all started.
That you really love.
Yes, that's how it all started. So after finishing my school, I enrolled with the I became a freelancer for Miri.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Maun.
All right.
Yeah, because like I'm saying, I loved Maun by the time. Yeah, the first time I got so interested in Maun because the lifestyle, you know, the wildlife.
It's difficult to not fall in love with Maun. Once you get
here,
it just engulfs
landscape, you know, everything. I just fell in love with the place. So I decided to come back and do my freelancing here in Maun with the Miri people.
Okay.
It was fun. It was really fun, and it brought me a lot of you know, good fortune, because that's where I met my current husband.
Yes. All right. Before we go too deep into that, actually, let's take it all the way back from the beginning. So we are here today talking about you as a woman in business, as a woman particularly in the media industry, which is the same industry that I am in. And it's a wonderful industry, you know, and your story is quite fascinating that this has been there all the way from the beginning, but that's the passion, right? So we are going to be talking specifically about your company, which is Pero Media. Take me through the genesis of Pero Media. You know, I know it's a very interesting story, so let's hear it.
oh yeah, like I'm saying, I met my husband Mascom Davy. There was a Mascom Davy in 2016.
Okay.
So I was still under Miri, freelancing for Miri. But that day I just decided to just go there to watch, because we were working. It was the two of us, me and my other colleague at Miri. So that other day he was the one who was supposed to do the covering of the event.
Okay.
So I just went there just to have fun. So we were sitting in the VVIP section, and that's how I got to meet him. He just came with a backpack and said, "Take care of my backpack." I was like, why is this guy trusting me with a backpack, yet it has a lot of cameras inside?
Yeah.
So he just moved away, and then I was there left. So after that, I was supposed to write a story for the publication.
Okay.
So I didn't have pictures because that day I wasn't covering the event. So I asked him, he gave me a business card. So I asked him, called him and said, you know what, I want pictures for my story. Can you help? And he asked me, do you want them with a watermark or no watermark? No, just give them to me. Watermark and not watermark. Okay, no, fine.
Yeah.
So he sent me the pictures, and then I wrote my story and sent it. So after that, like, we'll just chat on WhatsApp. Hi, how are you? I'm good. That's how it all started. So
what are we talking about here? Are we talking about your relationship? Are we talking about the company?
The company is his.
Okay.
So he is Pero Media.
Okay.
So he started the company all by himself. The day I saw him in the Mascom Derby, he was working for his company.
Okay.
So that's how we got to know each other.
She is blushing. She's so excited. It's like it happened just yesterday. That's beautiful. Yeah.
And he said, oh, since you are a media person, I do have a company called Pero Media. Do you want to work with me? I said,
wow.
It's great. I don't mind working with you.
Yeah.
And then Ghana is us, girlfriend and boyfriend, you know, and the company is there. I said, what can we be? Because he is a teacher by profession.
Okay.
So it means that he doesn't spend most of his time doing company stuff, you know. After finishing school, I said, okay, let me just do it. Let me just concentrate on picking the company. So I started doing some work for him. When he's away, I'll do the shooting.
Okay.
And when he's around, we'll do it together. So that's how I got into the Pero Media company as the director of photography.
All right.
Yes, he is the director. I am the director of photography.
Come
because
on now.
I know how to.
Roles. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, you're talking about this, and for me, I always like to highlight that at Diamond and Earth, we're all about catering to the whole businesswoman. And right now you're just also taking us through the history of how you and your husband met, and you're also working together.
Yes.
And I know quite a number of people who work with their partners as well, you know, and today you get to be the lucky one to tell us what is that experience like? How is it working with your partner?
Oh, working with my husband, working with my husband.
Sorry, man, your husband.
It's fun. It's fun. He always got my back. He knows what I want. Immediately when he got in the field, I'll tell him I always want to direct. So he knows that I always want to direct, because I always make sure that we get the good shots, you know, we get those lighting perfectly lit, our subjects perfectly lit. And I cannot imagine working with somebody else because honestly speaking, like he understands me. He understands my language, you know, like we're like this.
You get each other.
We get each other, you know. So when I'm with him, when he's tired, I take over. When I am tired, he takes over because we literally do the same thing. You know, he can get the lights, put them up. I can come, do the same thing. It's a family business.
Seamless,
so we know if we are together, we can literally do everything. After shooting, we come home, we compile the footage. He's the one who does the editing because I don't like editing. I know how to edit, but I don't like editing. You know. So he is the editor. Yes.
Well, that's beautiful. And you know, speaking of that, what are some of the highlights, maybe I would say, of working with a partner, with, you know, husband, wife, or, you know, even if you're not married, because I know that there are people who work together. What are some of the highlights? And then also, what are some things that you would advise people to consider when, you know, they are in a romantic relationship, but they're also working together? What are some things that they should be thinking about?
Okay, first thing first, you have to know your partner. What he likes, what he doesn't like, what takes him off, you know. Yeah, you have to know your partner. Because if it's a business relationship and boyfriend kind of girlfriend relationship, you have to know what is it that you have to bring to the table? What am I bringing to the table? What is he bringing to the table? Sometimes these misunderstandings or but you should put those things behind your back and concentrate. To build a business with your partner is some kind of hard and complicated. But as for us, it was easier because we are the media people. So he does media, I do media. So when he's out there shooting, I know no, he can come home late. He can come home maybe you see. So those are the kind of things that you have to compromise. He's there, he's out there doing something. How am I supposed to do this? Let me do this. I tell everything is okay. There are points with the differences. Differences no, this is not going to work. But at the end of the day, you have to sit down, look at the positive side. Okay, no, since how are you going to resolve the issue? It's not easy. It's not easy, but
it's doable.
It's doable. Yes.
Beautiful. And you know, when you talk about Maun, I cannot sing Maun enough praises and how much I love it. I think the viewer at home already knows this. The listener as well. You know, Maun has its opportunities and Maun has its challenges as well. What are some of the things that you have identified, areas of opportunity that you have identified in Maun, specifically within the industry that you're working in?
Maun has a lot of opportunities, and Maun got a lot of content. Like, to move from the building that we are sitting in to go outside, there's something that has to come to your mind as a photographer, as a videographer. Okay, no, I'm seeing a bed standing there or sitting there. Let me, you know, it's a content. You go out there, you see Batho Bapagame Scott's car. As a photographer, that thing is a content. So Maun has a lot of content, a lot of it, and if you don't have the eye of a photographer or a videographer, you cannot see those things. Some Maun, and then they will be like, why are you guys always saying Maun is nice and stuff, but this place is boring. So fine, you know what, this place has got this. You know, I can be fascinated by a tree, just a tree, and I would just look at it like, you know what, I can come up with a picture it can sell. Yes, so Maun has a lot of content. It's just that now we don't see things the same way.
And most of your media is focused around wildlife, you know, a lot of tourism, which is what this place, the Northwest, is known for.
Yes.
What is that industry like?
Wildlife is rich this side. I can say Maun is the heart of wildlife because that's where you will find a lot of wildlife. Immediately you leave Maun, whether you go to Shorobe, whether you go to Shakawe, whether you go to Bukumaga, you meet wild animals, and that's the most interesting part about Maun. So our company focuses on a lot of things. We do portraits, we do landscapes, we do corporate events, we do wildlife photography and videography. So the only challenge which is there here in terms of wildlife is the permits, the filming permits. It's very hard to acquire a filming permit. So if you go out to Akobo Moremi and you got your equipment there geared up, you're going to shoot there. Sometimes the lions are in the middle of the bush where you are not supposed to off-road, you see, and by that time you are limited in the sense in the lenses, so you cannot get the pictures that you want and all those. So for you to get those pictures, you have to be having to off-road, you have to be having a permit. So it's very hard for you to acquire a permit here. So those are some of the things that we encounter, but business wise is good. The only problem that we also have is that the local people they're not interested in these things. The only people who are interested in wildlife are the people from outside. The locals the locals are not interested in this. Even if you have a portrait of a lion or something, a landscape, something nice, and then you tell somebody, I'm selling this for this much, maybe 250, let me say, is a canvas of a, let me say, of a hornbill, and then you say, I'm selling this hornbill at around 250, can you buy it? They'll tell you, hornbill and then that's it. So they're not interested in buying this kind of things because they feel no, this is not their field. You get.
So basically, more awareness needs to be created.
Yeah, it needs to be created.
To have that appreciation.
Yes, and you know, it's very funny how these people are like when they, let me say, the whites people, the Western people, when they come this side and they're being seen, the squirrels photos, people will be like, "Hi, these ones are crazy." They're not crazy. It's something that is interesting. Just because when they're used to these squirrels moving around doing what's or not. So when the Western people come this side, they'll be like, this one, no. You know what I mean? So I think that when we need to make them aware of their environment, again, you can get a lot from this. You can just take a squirrel and photograph that squirrel and sell it, sell the picture. You get money.
I've seen that. I've seen books. There was a time I'll be traveling through Khanti and I've seen compilations of photos and people are selling those things, 5,000 pula, 6,000 pula, and just taking photos that are out in the Delta, over here in the Northwest, tourism and all of that. So I do agree with you in that we do need a bit more education in terms of, how far we can go with these things. And I believe that Bear is also playing its part in making sure that is happening. And speaking of playing your part, what are some of the highlights, some of the things that have brought you joy just through working for your company, and you're like, you know what, we did that.
Wow, in 2019, we were very fortunate to be invited to go the trade expo, Maun Trade Expo.
Okay.
Yes. So it was held in Matswane. So there were so many stalls. I think there were 54 stalls there. So we were part of the 54 stalls. So our stall was very unique. Yes, we wanted to do the naturals, like we wanted to do nature only. So we put portraits, landscapes there of animals, elephants. We printed the canvas of our work and then we displayed them there. It was very beautiful. And towards the end, we were just there by our stall because people will come and interact with us. What is your company doing? And we'll be telling them, okay, we are doing this. So we were just there busy talking to other people who were there by our stall. And then we got the announcement. Number one of the stalls is Pero Media. Pero Media, is anybody here from Pero Media? And then we were like, what? And then there was one guy who was working with us. He called me. Did you hear your company has been pronounced there. They're saying you got a position 1. And then I was like, what? And then my husband went like, God, we still boyfriend and girlfriend back then. And then he went there. He was like, we got the prize. And then they decided, no, we're not going to give you the prize here. We are going to your stall to show people that this is what we mean when we say it's outstanding. Here in Maun. So this is what we mean by the beautiful store, which is outstanding. And then we went there, they started taking pictures, and then an envelope was given to us. Inside, it was 5,000 spula inside. So that time, thank you very much. That time I was like, you know what? It's very easy to make money. We went there just to display our work, not necessarily meaning people should, buy or anything. We just wanted people to see you. So, and what we got, it was amazing. By that time, I was pregnant. Oh yeah. And he told me, you know what? Yeah. I think these people were afraid that if you don't give that to me, man, check what is just going to be unhappy. I was like, no, they just give it to us because we were very unique. Yeah. And then the other thing that I feel it was good. It was last year. Last year, my husband was called by the people by Najo World. Okay. So they were here in Botswana. They were doing some work with the what do you call them? Bed life Botswana. Yes. So he was asked to come and help to teach the youth. They had the youth who were there, who were roaming around the streets, and then they called the youth, come. We want to teach you how to do photography and videography. So he was one of those people. He was with Clive Van Charles, if you know him. Okay. So he was he was called there to come and teach the youth how to do conservation through the lens. So Nature World is everyone who is doing wildlife would want to work with Nature World. So I was shocked. I was shocked that our company could be called by such a very big company, which is well known. So it was great.
Wow. So you really are making your way out there. And I think those things, they really also help show you that you're doing something. Yeah. And
the last one was last year also. It was, I think it was around May or June. So we have a Friends of Photography Conservation Society. Okay. So we registered it last year. And out of the blue, after registering it, we were talking to some other guy from Feline. So we're just telling them, you know what, we want to help people who are still at primary school to conserve our environment through the lens and and they were like, what do you need help? I said, yes, we need help, but okay, no, we're going to adopt you. So we were adopted by the feline people.
Beautiful.
Yes, and they even sponsored us. They made some t-shirts for our kids, branded them, and whenever we need help, or maybe in terms of transport, in terms of snacks to buy for the kids, they provide us with.
That's lovely.
Yes. So those are the highlights of the year. Thank you very much.
Wow, and I really believe that in 2023 there's going to be so much more.
Yes.
Cassie, you and I, we actually know each other personally. We went to school together.
Yes.
That's the crazy thing, is that I knew your husband and I knew him. When you said Pero Media, I just knew. And I didn't know you at the time. I don't even know if when I met him, you guys were together already.
Yes.
Probably, which means that we have bumped into each other here in Maun. You've said that. Yes. I couldn't remember. But being in school, and we've worked on a number of projects together, and we've experienced a number of things when it comes to the media industry. I want to find out from you personally, what has your experience been like being a woman in media, because you've been practicing even while you were in school, even before you went to UB, because you did, like you said, at other institutions, and then you and we met, our paths crossed at UB. But you've been doing media all along, and what would you say your experience has been like, especially as someone who's holding the cameras? We're so used to women being in front of the camera, and this is not even your thing. People should know, the viewer should know that you're behind the camera. So I'm very blessed to have you, you know.
Yes.
But you know how to operate a camera. You know how to put filters on the lights and editing, even though you don't like it just like me. What has your experience been? And do people get shocked, like, when they see you handling these equipments and stuff?
I just love my job. I love my job. You know, I don't mind. I'm so fascinated with cameras that 2 days or 3 days, like I hate that without holding a camera. I feel what I know, man. Something is off, you know. So it has been tough sometimes because I get, you know, as women, we go through those stages, and sometimes you just want to be alone, you know. Yes. So sometimes a client will come to me and say, I want my job to be done kadikana, and you know what kadikalo, your mood, you know, those kind of things. So those are things that sometimes get like if I wasn't in this industry, maybe it would be different. But only those moments. But every day, every time, I'm cool with my work. I enjoy doing my work, and I just feel that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Whether there's nothing like a male-dominated job or a job secured for male. You can literally do anything that you want to, as long and as much as you put effort into that, you can do it. So working as a director of photography, as a cinematographer, as a photographer, hasn't been too hard on me because that's what I love. Yes, I do it with passion.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
you do.
So it's not that hard.
So Cassie, you know, maybe there's someone who's sitting at home. There's probably a young girl, or maybe someone who's getting ready to graduate from school. And I know that you and I, one of the courses that we did in our final year was media and entrepreneurship. Because I know that a lot of times people in media, they look at it as, where can I go and work? You know, what can I, you know, you know, and we were taught that, which rightfully so. And I think for you and me, maybe it might have been easier because we went to school when we were a bit older. Just a bit older, not too much. And we already had industry experience, you know, and so we kind of figured out this is where the gaps are. What can you say to someone who's looking at it and saying, I do want to start my own company? Where do I start? Is it worth it? Should they be doing that? Because that's also another conversation again, because what I've come to find is that sometimes people go into it and they don't have, you know, when you've never worked for someone, it can be challenging because you can't respect the deadlines sometimes. You can't, especially us in the creative industry. We are known for not delivering on time. You know, we're known for sometimes losing people's footage and not even caring about it, you know. So if someone is there and saying, I'm thinking of doing this, what would you advise them? How would you advise them? What are some of the things they need to be thinking about?
Starting up a business is a bit difficult, especially if you don't have funds. So that's the most difficult thing, Hela, when you want to start a business. But if you have funds, everything goes smoothly because you will be able to have the money to buy the equipment that you want. You'll be able to go to places that you want to go to. You'll be able to do whatever you want to do, you see. So to start up a business, only if we had those platforms that, you know, we could go to and say, you know what, I have this kind of business idea. I want to do this. Can you fund me? And you get the funds. Mobile journey is something else entirely. So you can graduate with those higher degrees and stuff, but unale passion for that. But if you don't have the funds to do anything, you cannot do anything. And to look for a job in our industry is very hard. Retrenchment there. You go to private entities, they don't pay well. You go to the government, you are being sabotaged because they want to be in control. You see what I mean? So it's really hard. It's really hard.
And there's a lot of exploitation in our field. Sorry to interrupt you.
There's a lot of exploitation in our field. So it's really hard, especially media. I know. So what I could say to a kid who is out there and looking at this clip and say, you know what, I want to be like those two ladies. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. Let me say, if you don't have the funds, you can actually if you have this small camera like this,
Yeah.
you know, a small camera can sell your dreams.
True.
Yes, just a picture, a random picture that you take with a small camera can make you a lot of money. So that's how we make money. If you don't have connections, there's no how you could make money. And sometimes it's really sad, because you'll be having the content. I come to you as Noms and say, Noms, I have this idea and I want to make sure I develop it. I develop it, and then you'll be there as Noms and you'll be listening to me like, okay, no, but this person has a very good idea. How about if I sabotage her? When our industry is full of, you know, I don't know what to call it, but it has some ups and downs, because I will be coming to you, your friend, and then I'll be telling you, what this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then when instead of helping me, you will decide to go the other way around, and because you have money and try to implement and try to implement my idea, and then because it's not your actual idea, it will fail on the way. You see, so that's what I have figured.
You bring up a very important point. So how can people protect themselves against stuff like that? Because I'm sure you've experienced that. So
a lot.
What are you doing now, like, to mitigate that, and how can you advise the next person? Because it's a very real thing. You and I know about it. How would you advise someone? You know, especially you meet even students who have these brilliant ideas, and they just want to share, and, you know, not being very wise about how they go about it. So what would you advise people do in an instance like that?
There is this other lady called Madisang from Youth. She's the one who told me, if you have an idea, don't go around telling everybody, even your closest friend. The thing that you could do, just draft a plan, do your business plan there, and finish everything. After finishing everything, look for people. Can I go to hell these days? Even those people back to look for them and go and seek funds. That the very same people who they sabotage us. And then she told me, you can go to Batoba Sipa. You can go to Batoba Sipa and try to, what do you call it? You copyright your stuff. You copyright your stuff. So that's how I managed to do my things. I decided to just come up with my idea, did everything perfectly well, and then I went to Bone, and then Babandirela the copyrights. So now, even if I could tell somebody about my idea, I know what the idea is safe. So that's how I did it. But hella when in all, we know hella what you cannot trust a human being. So Malala said that the next thing I'm also tell what everybody's talking about your idea. We put but I told that person my idea. How come everybody knows about it? The snake.
Yeah, but and that's very good and practical advice. And listen to me, I'm very big on practical advice, you know, because sometimes people will sell you dreams. Whenever I started my rice company with just a grain of rice and stuff, you know, but people need practical things. You know, we have a lot of people, Cassie, in Botswana, people in schools. I mean, you and I, we just graduated last year. Listen, by the way, I like to mention this. Cassie got married the week before we graduated. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know how she did it, but I did not expect to see you at graduation. But you were there.
I was there.
And you were looking absolutely awesome, as you always are, even today.
And a different outfit.
A different outfit. Very beautiful. Always representing our culture. You know? But yeah, I was just saying that we have a lot of young people who have even animations and, you know, just really big ideas that we don't see a lot of in Botswana. And I think that is very practical advice, you know, because when you're young, you know, you're naive and you're starting up and you're so excited, you want to share with the world, this is my brilliant idea, this is what I want to do, and not realizing that sometimes you are just running into the wolf's den. And I'm a big believer in writing things down, because when you write things down, at least you have something to trace back, you know, to say, but this is where I drafted this idea. And so I think it's very important, because when you're just sitting and sharing, no one has proof. The person who came up with the idea between Kesile and Noms, who was it? You know, and so I really love what you're saying about going to SIPA. And these are resources that are there, and they're very underutilized. So basically, if you don't know about SIPA, maybe we'll cover a bit more about it one time. But, you know, SIPA is all about intellectual property. And if my memory serves me correct, I think the IP in SIPA, just CIPA, talks about intellectual property. I stand to be corrected. But yeah, you know, just copywriting our work, protecting our work, because you know what, so when something is your brainchild, you have to protect it.
True that.
Yeah. In closing, Cassie, now you are done with school. You are married, finally.
Yes.
I'm still in awe. I tell people I can't get over it, not just yet. You know, you're done with school.
You start gaining weight.
Praise God. I look forward to that. My mom would really love that, by the way. You know, we're done with school. You have gotten married. You know, you've just kind of taken a breather with so many things, and now you're full-time in your business. What does the future look like for you, for Pero? You know, you're looking to grow it internationally. You know, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to in terms of your company?
Yeah, a lot. We're doing a lot right now. I just registered another company called Kesego, just because I wanted to acquire some funds, you know. Yeah, so we'll be doing some documentaries about phenomenal women. That's how I named it. We'll be shooting women who are doing those male-dominated jobs, you know, all over the country. So I think it's one of the projects that right now I'm concentrating on. And then there is another one from Friends of Photography Conservation Society. So we are supposed to go Botau, and then Rago Mababe. We are going to Shorobe to try to look for those youth who are roaming around the streets. And then we'll be teaching them. We got smaller cameras, so we'll be teaching them how to take pictures. We'll be teaching them how to tell a story, like conservation through storytelling. So
in closing, Cassie, do you have any words for us? And then also you can go ahead and share your contact details and just how people can reach you.
The message that I would like to pass to the graduates in media studies. To talk about the graduates in media studies, because I'm a media person, and I know there are a lot out there who are still struggling to pull it through. I have friends who are out there nowadays, even dude, get me some shots with a headroom with the space, negative spaces and the likes. So a whole bunch of because they're not practicing, because it's a whole and the likes. So my media people, all I want to say is that, hey, don't rely on the government. Because if you want to volunteer, it doesn't necessarily have to be about money. Yes, if you want to volunteer, I'm human. How I have a job, a certain job, and the job is this much. I'm human. I know how and I talk. So the more you volunteer with me, the more you learn. The more learn at least this person is doing a good job. Let me just enroll this person in my company. So that's how it all works out. We similar on a freelancer in a certain publication or what or not. You are capable of doing good. So don't just sit at home. Don't just sit at home or I'm not getting anything. I'm trying to do things. Sometimes do it, even if it's not for money. Just do it. Just tell her to keep practicing all the time. So now I don't have a problem with people coming to me and saying, Casey, we want you to help us to take some pictures. Can I practice with you? If you have a job, please call us. I want to be somebody who will do the lighting and the likes. I have friends who has already, volunteered to come and do stuff for me. Others edit some stuff just for free. But when I have something in my hand, I always give. So that's what I want to say to the media crew out there. Our people.
Beautiful.
Yes, and our company is called Pero Media. Is there on Instagram, is there on Facebook. And our contacts are 7293-3237. Anytime you can call us. Malaysia are still people, so because it's really hard. The competition is high, so we don't want to be there similar amateurs, So we are more into corporate events. We are more into portraits, landscapes, and wildlife. So that's it.
That's what you're doing.
Yes.
All right. Any email address that they can catch you on?
Email address, you can contact us at makurakese@gmail.com, or ediman@yahoo.com.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll write them down so that they can get those details.
Yes.
But all in all, I just want to say thank you so much, Cassie, for spending your time here with me today.
It's weird how I forgot to say thank you for having me when I started our conversation. But thank you very much, Nams, for inviting me over, and it was really great.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
You know, this is what we love to do as Diamond and Earth, is to bring the story right to your doorstep, and for you to be able to just get a practical picture, a real picture of what it takes to actually be in business doing some of these things. I'm in media, I love media, but there's also the business side of media, and you know, I know Cassie's a very busy person. Congratulations on getting married. Congratulations on your degree.
Thank you very much.
Just doing the impossible as women do, you know, really catering to the whole business woman. And so I really hope that you enjoyed this conversation and that you took something away from it. Do let us know in the comments if there's anything that you'd like to know, if there's something that stood out to you, whatever it is that you'd like to say to Cassie as well, just for spending her time here with us. You know, she's done some phenomenal work, honestly speaking. Even her final projects at the University of Botswana, absolutely splendid. She's a woman of excellence, and no doubt you and your husband, you work so well together.
Thank you.
You're made for each other.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if that was the criteria that, you know, we both have to be in media.
Not really, it just happens.
Well, do give us a subscribe so that you can always see what it is that we are up to, and we want to continue to just walk this journey with you. Go ahead and hit the like button, and also comment, like I've already said. Follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're also on LinkedIn, and now we're also on in our e-newsletter. So just go on any of our social media. You'll be able to get the link to be able to subscribe to our newsletters, so that you can get just whatever it is that we're doing at any given time. Thank you again for joining us. This is Nompendulo Shabangu from Diamond and Earth. We'll see you again next time.